Did you know sleep could be your superpower? Welcome to this episode of Let's Skip to the Good Part, the podcast where we discover solutions to be time wise, get more done, and show you how to catapult your joy and focus. So remember to click on the follow for updates and new episodes. Today's topic is sleep. How can that be a superpower? So, as many of you might know, we sleep about 28 years of our life. So, how can we use that as a superpower? So, who am I? I'm a Christy. I'm an efficiency expert. More info below. But today's guest is Christena Dawson, and she actually empowers women to regain control over their sleep and, in turn, their vitality. And what does that end up? Better life, being more productive. So, welcome to you, Christena.
Hello, Christy. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you're very interested in sleep. I found since COVID hit that the sleep difficulties, the sleep deprivation that people are having has reached epidemic proportions. So I really want to get the word out there. There's a lot we can do to recapture that sleep, that health, that vitality, that being present that you can't have when you're exhausted, when you're worn out, when you're tired. So that's why, especially now, I have gotten back into sleep. I was doing that in my private practice back in the 80s. In fact, I had a relaxation tape. That's how long ago I've been at this business. Can
And
you
you've been
believe it?
around a lot. Oh, a real tape. I
A
remember.
real tape, yes.
So,
Now,
if
now
any of
I
you
have
out there
downloads.
haven't seen a tape, they
I
have been around for a lot of time,
know.
but you have great experience. I work with a lot of, I've been a professional so many years, and when people are talking to the, oh, I want to get things done, they're actually thinking about their awake hour, how to use time. But what they almost forget is if they haven't slept enough, they can't be awake enough. So, what do you see out there when you speak to people?
With women, especially,
Yeah.
they are wrestling with everything that's on their plate. They have mom guilt, they have work life balance issues. When everybody got moved home, if they could work from home, it really messed with everybody's schedule. People forgot to close the office door. And if your office was in your bedroom, I said to people, cover it up. I don't care if it's an old blanket. You just don't want the vision of your work in your home, and have office hours. Seriously, have office hours. You don't need to be available 24/7. I'll give you an example.
Yeah, please do.
I have a client who worked 11 to 7. So by the time she got home, there wasn't much of an evening left. She had people who were emergency services in her household, and she said, how can I sleep? So we devised a plan so that when the alarms went off, so that these people would leave to go to their emergency services, she would make sure they got out the door, and then she would wait to hear that they got to the location, and then she would do her relaxation routine all over again. And she was getting back to sleep. So she might miss an hour of sleep,
Yeah,
but
well
not be
rested.
awake, but not be awake the entire rest of the night, because we developed a routine that got her to sleep in the first place. And then she would go back to that and do that after her family went out the door. And she got so that she could make it shorter. The half hour was her bedtime routine. She got it down to 15 minutes after they went out the door. And that's all working with the person and their particular needs. Some people have monkey brain like me. When you have attention deficit, you can go down every hole possible. So I have a routine and I practice it faithfully every night.
Yeah, but
So
whether you're sleeping and can't sleep, or whether you're working and get distracted, it's kind of similar. If you get
yes,
distracted all the time and thinking about, so can so relate to mom having mom guilt. Oh, I didn't do that. Why? I should. And when people are focused on one thing and they get distracted, do they get work done? No.
no.
Similar when they try to fall asleep, and I say the word try. Oh, I can't sleep. I have to do that.
People have anxiety about getting to sleep. So what you need to do is, instead of letting the brain go off, you get your brain focused in the present. So you get into your body and you breathe and you find the tension in your body and you focus on tensing that area and then relaxing. And when you're breathing into your muscles, oxygen goes to that area and helps it relax. Excuse me. We have a lot of snow here and I've been shoveling every day for the last week.
It's good exercise. When you say
Yes.
the word focusing on breathing, I love to do like meditation, yoga, being in the present. I get so relaxed. I think you mentioned earlier about you also doing some taped meditation where people can listen to your voice and just focusing on that. Because sometimes when you are trying to fall asleep and your head is scattered all over, it's good to hone in and just, okay, listen to the voice, focus, breathing in and out. And that can be tricky for some to do that if they're not used to it.
It takes practice, focused practice, and doing the breathing
Yeah.
and relaxing and coming back to it. This doesn't happen overnight. There's no magic pill. Sorry about that.
You have been out shoveling snow. It can happen to everyone. You mentioned about sleep is important. When you get enough sleep, what are some of the added benefits? So people out there can listen to, okay, perhaps I should sleep some more. How can people find out how much sleep they need?
Well, your body will tell you. Teenagers need more sleep because they're growing and developing. Pregnant women need more sleep. When you're healing, you need more sleep. On average, people need between 7 and 8 hours sleep a night. Some people less. As you age, say 60, 65, you can reduce that amount of sleep. But what will happen is you will notice, if you don't have enough sleep, that two things happen. Your brain slows down. you crave food, and you're not as mentally clear when you're tired. They've run tests and your reaction time is reduced. I said in one interview that driving while tired is like driving drunk. People didn't want to hear that, but your reaction time is slowed down. So you're not as capable of handling emergency situations, for one. They've done tests that showed that people that had an adequate amount of sleep did much better on tests, mental tests, than if they were sleep deprived. Your problem solving skills, your creativity, all of that is enhanced with refreshing sleep. I had a client who said, I'm getting enough sleep. We got her to the point where she was getting enough sleep, but she was still waking up tired. So we went back over the plan that we had.
Yeah.
And she had encountered bed bugs 10 years before. So she was going to bed tense because she was concerned about getting bitten. They had their house fumigated, and then you have to have it fumigated again. Somehow or other, they came back. So she had to go through the same process over again. So part of her bedtime routine was doing the tensing and relaxing and remembering that her house was now bed bug free. And the next day she called me. She didn't even email me. She called me and said, I got my first good night's sleep. People who have been through trauma carry it. It's called muscle memory. And if you've fallen, people will have trauma when they go to sleep because you fall asleep. They will tense and then they wake back up again, or they tense and they stay asleep, but they're tense all night.
Yeah, it's,
And
it's similar to a mind. If you've experienced something, what your
yes,
mind focuses on, you remember. And even I've
yes,
talked to people who said, no, I don't focus on it. No, but your subconscious still
exactly,
remembers. If it's
exactly.
something
Yeah.
going on, trauma or grief or being
Yes,
overwhelmed at work, it goes on.
you can go. I lost my father when I was 17. When I was 19, my best friend committed suicide. I had to go home for that funeral. I lost my husband, and we had two teenage daughters. So I all of a sudden became a widow, the head of the family, and raising two teenage girls. Grief affects the level of your sleep. So you can be in bed for 8 hours and it doesn't feel like it
Yeah.
because you're not relaxed and your brain is just a fog. So it takes a while. You need more sleep at that point
Yeah.
because it takes the body that much more time because you're healing. Your heart is healing, your mind is healing, you're coping in reality with stuff you've never coped with before. So it's really important to look at what are the things that you're still carrying around with you that you need to put on the shelf. I've explained to people that I have a little basket, and when I'm carrying around these thoughts that they're intrusive, they bug me, and I've shared this with a lot of clients. I have this box. I literally write it on a piece of paper. I fold it up. I put it in the box. I close the lid. I lock the box, even if it's just in my mind.
Yeah, but
I
literally, you
open,
have a physical box.
I do have a physical box.
Yeah.
And I open the closet door, I step up on the step stool, and I put it on the top shelf at the back. And then I step down, I close the closet door, and I turn out the light. It's gone. They're there. If I want to pick them up, I can do so in the morning. Things people need to understand about sleep is you have to put everything else to bed. You put your kids to bed. You close down the house. You have to put everything in here to bed.
Yeah, I've had
Don't try and write that last email. Forget it.
and if you really have something, oh, I have to remember, instead of thinking I'll do that tomorrow, just write it on a note, something
Yes.
about this, because then
Yep.
your mind knows I'm not forgetting it. Just write a small note tomorrow,
Yep.
put it away,
Yes.
and then you relax.
Exactly. Exactly. The important things people need to know is if you have sleep difficulties, set a bedtime and stick to it. Short of an absolute emergency,
Yeah,
keep that bedtime. And by an emergency, I mean somebody's drowning, somebody's burning, somebody's cut, somebody has to go to the hospital. It's not your friend needing to talk to you about something that's drama. And you let everybody know this is my bedtime and I am not available after that.
it's
Okay.
like taking care of ourselves. One of the
My
things you're
sleep,
talking about is, it could be grief, too many thoughts and tasks. But the other way around, it could also be something you're very excited about. How
oh,
many
yes.
of you out there have seen a child being excited for something the day after? Oh, I can't go to sleep. So it could also be a good thing you're looking ahead.
Yes. Yes. But you need to prepare for it. So do the preparation and then relax. If
Uh,
you've got something that's important that you're doing tomorrow, lay out the clothes. Write out the things that you need to do first thing in the morning. For instance, today I was going to be on the podcast. What was I going to talk about? I went over my bio. I went over the things that I wanted to make sure your audience got from me, and then the high points that I wanted to make sure we talked about.
it's
Setting a
preparation,
bedtime. Yeah,
simple preparation. Whatever we
yeah,
do, we prepare. And that is actually a hidden a secret of our mind. If you think about something on, let's say, on a Thursday, and after you've slept, your mind have unconsciously thought about things. So if you're having, oh, I
yes,
don't know what to do about that, perhaps I'll dream about it. But your mind relaxes and it's hidden time to work.
yes. I have said to people, let me sleep on it. And they look at me funny. And it's like, I'm not sure if it feels right or not. In the morning, I will have far more clarity.
Yeah.
I used to do my homework in high school in the morning. I was a very busy kid. I was playing sports. I took piano. I was dancing. I was very busy. We had a drama theater in town. So I would be going down to the theater. And this would be during, school nights.
Yeah.
But I would get up and do my homework in the morning. My dad woke me up at 6:15, or the dog, and I would just sit down at the kitchen table and do my homework. Whatever is important, do first thing in the morning because you have far more clarity, far more energy and far more life. When people will go, no, I don't, then you're not getting enough sleep, because you should wake up perky.
Yeah,
And
and
people have,
with new energy, uh, many in the time management world are talking about the 5 a.m. club. We need to get up early, but we're not all 5 a.m. club people.
no,
But it's about when your sleep time is finished. This is your energy and
yes,
getting the best out of it. And yeah, if you have a lot to do in the morning, like getting kids to school, find out when your energy peak is at its highest
yes.
and use that time.
There are lots of things so that you can free up time in the morning. I had a friend who would get up and write for an hour before the rest of the household got up. I had another friend who liked to get up at the same time as her kids. So what she would do is she would literally prepare their lunches and leave them in the fridge, and then pick out, the 4 celery bags,
Yeah.
the 4 sandwich bags, the 4 dessert bags, the juice boxes, whatever. It was assembled in the fridge, and the kids just saw her putting them all in the lunch boxes together. But
Yeah.
she did it the night before, when her mind wasn't at its best, but she had saved some time for herself in the morning.
I do that too as well. I do it in the nighttime. What can be done earlier? Do it when you're tired and yeah, just meal prepping or whatever it is.
Yeah,
So when you're in the zone, just take the things you have prepared. It could be taking out clothes the night before, having some kind of preparation.
sure.
One question to you is power napping. One thing is about sleeping at night. What about is it only when you get older you power nap? Is it good or is it bad? What do you think
Power,
about it?
power napping is very good. Some people can do it, some people can't. And power napping is, they say, 20 to 45 minutes. There are studies done out there. 20 to 45 minutes. That's a power nap. I know some people, if they nap for longer than 45 minutes, it's game over. They're just not in very good shape at all. They've also done studies between people who drink a cup of coffee and then nap, and people that don't. And people that can drink a cup of coffee and nap wake up, and they're far more clear,
Yeah.
uh, more productive after. And I'm one of those people. I power nap. I have my coffee, take a nap, wake up, and that's when I do what I call my second wind.
It's
I do,
one of the famous authors in the States. He says he divides his stay up in 2 or 3 days in one day because he focuses on, let's say, 8 hours work, small power nap. Then he starts his day again. It's about allowing yourself to just take a break and then
yes,
go at it again. I do that myself, and I can see a big improvement. And as you said, not too long of a power nap
no.
because then you get saggy, tired, and we also have to move because if we don't move our body, we can't sleep well afterwards.
Yes, there are lots of things that you can do during the day that help with sleep at night. There are things to avoid, like don't have a really hot shower before you go to bed if that wakes you up. Some people, it puts them in a more relaxed state. So people are different. They do say, though, that if you have to eat late, like my 7 o'clock client, if she hasn't had time to have supper at work, you have half a meal at night and
Yeah.
it's 50% protein, 50% carbohydrates. That's it. No more. Because you're trying to go to sleep and your body's still trying to digest. Not a good combination.
Yeah, because your body is still working on all the food.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's almost logical when you
Don't
think about it,
don't
but
don't do heavy exercise late at night because that wakes you up. There, there are just some common sense things. People say, well, alcohol helps you sleep. Okay, it may help you get to sleep, but it messes with your circadian rhythms. And after a while, the quality of your sleep really gets messed with as well. And there's studies out there that show that.
there are
Blue light.
coffee and energy drinks. Some people drink a lot to keep awake when there's,
Yes.
what is called cramming for a big exam. Some people
Yes.
might need that, but they're also disrupting their sleeping cycle. So they need to, after a big exam, they need to go back to normal sleeping.
Get up. If you're going to cram, get up in the morning and cram after that sleep.
Yeah.
Because you will learn faster, learn more, have better problem solving skills, better creativity. Cramming at night, yeah, it's 50% of what you'll get in the morning.
Yeah, I know there are different, some the different sleeping types. Some people are more alert in the evening, but there's also common sense. If it's too late, even for those called night owls, it can be even too late for them because they are just, and they get distracted. So we all have our days and our times across a whole day. And
Yes.
the what do you call it? The circadian rhythm. I have a photo here about when is the highest blood pressure, when is your best reaction. There are cycles throughout a
Yes.
day on what is your optimal time.
Absolutely. And you need to find that for yourself because, like I said, everybody's different. Teenagers have a different circadian rhythm. You were pregnant. I was pregnant. You know that in the first trimester, the second trimester, the third trimester, your sleeping patterns, what you needed in terms of sleep was different.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Our hormones, and I'm not just talking about female hormones, okay? My thyroid was way, way, way out of whack. Okay.
Yeah.
That affected my sleep. I was exhausted, but I wasn't sleeping. And the quality of my sleep was terrible. Somebody said, how do you feel? And I said, I feel like I just woke up from a fight with Mike Tyson. And they went, what? He,
What a
he was a
night.
heavyweight boxing champion. And they went, and I said, my muscles are tense. My brain's in a fog. I just feel awful.
Yeah, there are
And
some things across a whole lifetime when there
yeah,
are hormones in the body going either up or down. There are, today's society, we have phones where we can monitor how we slept, how long we slept. Because I have even felt one night I had, let's just say 7 hours, and the next day, the same 7 hours, but I felt more well rested. So there is the quality of the sleep you get. How many times have you turned around? How many times have you been awake during the night? So it's not just the actual hours, it's the quality of those sleeping.
yes. And let me give you fair warning. Some people, they get neurotic and anxious. They get into the numbers and the numbers are dictating to them. And I go, how do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Don't immediately look at your phone and go, oh, well, I had REM sleep and I had 6.5 and I did. Please, how do you feel? You know? And somebody said to me, I can get you a Fitbit. And I went, no, thanks. And they went, why? I said, because I'll get hung up on the numbers. I'll have to check. Okay. And a month from now, I'll realize I've messed with my sleep. My sleep's good. I'm leaving it alone. If I had a problem, I might be interested, but I don't have a problem. So I'm not going there.
Oh, that's a great tip, Christina. Um, so many people are focused at work on, the numbers, how good are we selling, how are we doing, and they get used to it. I've been in that myself.
Yes.
But when you can have sleeping devices that can monitor your sleep. But the great thing here is, as you said, how is your body? How do you feel? Do you feel, you know, well rested or do you feel tired? And find out the root cause. What have been in on your mind? Yeah, could there be grief, problems, whatever? We all go through different things, and our sleeping patterns can be affected so much. So, if we should end this up, what are some of your greatest tips?
Set a bedtime. Then have a bedtime routine that you stick to so that you're shutting down the house, you're shutting down your brain, you're relaxing your body, you're getting calm, slower. Um, dim the lights. Okay.
Yeah,
Daytime bookends, bright light in the morning. Get into sunlight if at all possible. As, as close to when you get up as possible. And
yeah,
if you can't get sunlight, those bright lights in the bathroom so that you can see to put your makeup on?
yeah.
Great place to hang out for about 5 minutes. I don't care if you're cleaning your teeth, washing your face, shaving, whatever. Okay. Because that helps your body wake up. So the exact opposite is true. Dim the lights. Your body naturally goes into relaxing, slowing down, calming down when you lower the lights. You don't have to have all the bright lights on at night. Get away from the devices. That whatever amount of time you need, I take a half an hour. Bedtime routine. I have one woman who counts back from 1,000 to fall asleep because that focuses her mind and she never gets to one. And somebody said, why do you count backwards? She said, because I'm not trying to get someplace. I'm trying to get from someplace. And they
Ah,
went, oh. So bedtime routine, set bedtime, stay away from the devices, cut the light at night, more bright light in the morning, and shut everything else down before you go to your safe haven. Whatever you need that makes you feel safe in your bedroom. I have an eye mask because I'm clumsy, so I have to have a night light in my bedroom. So when I do get up, if it's still dark, I'm not tripping over stuff like the dog or my slippers.
yeah.
So I have a sleep mask so that it's nice and dark for me. Um, I have really warm, comfy sheets for the winter. I have a special pillow because I've had surgery on my neck 3 times. So I have to have a special pillow and I snuggle down in with my special pillow. Whatever makes you feel safe and comfortable. Some people have white noise. Some people have music. I have rainfall because that
Yeah, we
makes me
each have
feel,
our preferences about do we prefer which kind of sound.
yeah,
And like the phone, many people have cell phone put right next to their bed. there are the vibrations and the Wi-Fi.
Oh, yes.
Put your phone away so you can be in a bed where you can really relax. If someone needs to call you, you can hear the phone from the other room. So
I set it up so that only my two grown daughters knew how to get a hold of me, and they would call. It wouldn't ring through. When they called the second time, it would ring through. And they knew past a certain point, short of an emergency, you have to train people.
yeah.
The call would come through. When my grandson had a seizure, she called. When my daughter needed to take her husband to the hospital, she called. Those are important things. Other than that, they didn't call and interrupt mom's sleep.
Yeah,
You
we
can
all
set
have to
limits.
prioritize our own health because it's
Yes.
like being on an airplane. If something happens, what do you do? Take on the oxygen mask. You have to take care of yourself in order to help others. And we can't perform a full day taking care of kids, family, house, whatever, work,
You
if we're
won't
tired.
you won't lose weight. In fact, you'll gain weight if you're sleep deprived.
Yeah.
It affects the onset of diabetes. They're finding that it has some relationship to Alzheimer's and dementia. It has some relationship to high blood pressure and heart conditions. We're talking serious stuff here. That's
Oh,
why I say sleep is your superpower. I want to be around as perky as I can be for as long as I can be. So when I tell people I'm tired, I'm going to bed, I can literally sleep in the middle of a party because I need to shut down, and I do.
yeah, and I can't even it affects skin as well. If
Oh,
people don't
yes.
sleep, you can see, like the black under the eyes, the skin
The
on the cheeks.
pallor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
oh, Christina, if people would like to hear more from you, where can they contact you? Yeah, we will put the links in where you hear this podcast. But
Okay.
what are you doing?
Well, I have a Facebook group called Sleep Solutions for Better Health, Wealth, and Happiness. I have an ebook, Unlock Your Best Sleep. I have a podcast, Empower Sleep Solutions for Women. Let's see, what else? I have a website, www.dawsoncreative.net, and I have some still Black Friday specials on there. And if people want to email me, I will give them the PDF called 21 Difficulties Getting Refreshing Sleep and do a 30-minute follow-up meeting with them about what they can do to deal with their particular issues right now.
Ah, so we can actually go in and see, am I doing this? No.
Yes.
Okay, I do this and this and this. Okay, these are my bad habits I need to change.
Right.
Oh, I love that.
I am working on getting on big stages and doing speaking engagements because I think this is an epidemic. And I think women, as they're coming out of university and college, need to know that they need to prioritize their sleep or things are going to get way out of control.
Yeah, and I so concur because if we don't sleep, we cannot work. And if we cannot work,
Oh.
we cannot perform. We cannot have a joyful life. So
It
it has
affects
been,
yeah, it affects
it's
our
about getting a good
relationships.
cycle.
Yes, yes.
It's been a pleasure having you here, Christina. And people out there, if any of you have a comment or want to listen or hear more, You can, if you have a question, write it below and we'll get back to you. There are
Absolutely.
links below to the things that Christina mentioned before, but get in contact. And whatever you do, remember your sleep is a way to regain your vitality and have a better life. So see more of you out there. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.